Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we'll be continuing through our retrospective unbagging series for Imperium, which is set for Warhammer 40,000, and this particular issue of Imperium is issue 48. Getting closer to the 50th issue mark, but we're definitely over the halfway through the Imperium magazine subscription, I dare say. Albeit in this case 3 years later. Front of the issue, so we have some very nice artwork there for the Dark Angels, which is basically what my first and foremost army was back in the day before I branched out. As for what's in this particular issue, so we'll have the ruined Factorum terrain feature. It's not the first time we've seen it, but in terms of the actual issue, so there will be some information around the Dark Angels chapter, some lore about the Apothecarian, and I suspect some rules surrounding the Acts of Faith for the Adepta Sororitas. So, pretty much just a rehash of the contents. So there's a mission roster for the Sisters, 3 bits of lore information, the ruined Factorum in terms of how to build, how to paint, and then from the play side, Acts of Faith and Cryptic Machinations, which is most likely the scenario. So Adepta Sororitas mission roster. So pretty much just another random dice generator to just add some more narrative story to your army. So it's always nice that these are included. And here we have just the mission roster. So we have the command side, which will be the Canoness, Sisters of the Priory, so Battle Sisters Seraphim, Repentia Superior, and the Penitent. So the Sisters Repentia, Archiflagellants, and the Penitent Engine. So these are all models that we've basically seen or will get within Imperium, so it's nice to see them all coming together. Dark Angels, Sons of the Lion, First Legion. Obviously very dear to me, given that they were my first and foremost army. So we do have that nice little story information about the First Legion and the Children of Lionel Johnson. Naturally, of course, there will be the blurb regarding the Fallen, and then we have some short text regarding the first and second companies for the Raven Wing and the Deathwing. I'm also really glad some of the old school speeder design is starting to come back again. It's actually the one thing I missed when I came back into Warhammer. It's like, what happened to our land speeders? Anyway, Space Marines Apothecarian, so story information about the apothecaries of the chapter, and I'd probably dare say what their role is within the chapter. So we just have some little bits of story text here and there, and then pretty much their war gear, the Power Pact, and the Narthesium, and a little bit of text regarding the Prime Helix. Imperial Creed, so just some more information here, but it looks like this might be more Sororitas based. The Imperial Cult, and then a breakdown of the Sororitas and the Ministorum. Now, depending how far you read into things, some can argue that, hey, isn't this pretty much what Lorgar was doing back in the day? It's like, yeah, well, maybe, to a degree. More information here for the Sororitas regarding the Penitent. So there are a number of units within the army that undergo a rites of penitence. And of course we have a breakdown of those units between the Sisters Repentia, who are former Battle Sisters, Archiflagellants, and the Penitent Engines and Mortifiers. Very nice, very cool. And I do remember when the Penitent Engine came out, because that was a giant chunk of metal. Ah, the good old days. Anyway, how to build ruined Factorums. So it's not the first time we have seen this. I do not remember which issue we had the Factorum previously without looking it up, but we are where we are. So how to build the ruins, putting everything together. It's not too difficult, and they do look pretty sturdy once put together. With 11th edition literally a week away, it'll be interesting to see how useful these items are. I'm sure they're still useful. You just put them on the relevant terrain I will continue to make hand gestures because I'm not sure what to call them as. Terrain, whatever they are. Anyway, 11th edition coming soon. How to paint the ruined Factorum. Trying to combine two words there. Start on Corax White as the actual base coat here. Moving into Mephiston Red to highlight some of these windows, doors, etc. Norn Oil to basically really bring out some of that detailing and add some colour to the white. Obviously it is an interesting stark contrast there between pure Corax White and what's been covered in Norn Oil. Abaddon Black to bring out some of those very specific black regions, and then a dry brush of Corax White to just do some of those highlights and just accentuate some of the detailing, which is also used on the black and red areas from Mephiston Red and Abaddon Black. Lebelcher for your metallic detailing, of course, with a little bit of Corn Red, the second coming of Norn Oil, and then a dry brushing of Stormhost Silver. So from what I loosely recall, it's pretty much the same steps from the previous iteration that we saw them. And I believe I said back then, I felt, and I still feel, that alone is very much ready for tabletop. To be honest, I don't know what else you would actually want to paint to add in more colour. I mean, to me, I think that's enough. But yes, obviously that's a reference point of what it would look like. Going into the play side of things, so we have the sororitas rules for Acts of Faith. I cannot remember if they were still a thing in 10th edition, and it should be interesting to see what happens come 11th edition, so I won't spend too much time on that. But obviously there was a benefit to having them. And then the playthrough for Cryptic Machinations, the Sororitas versus the Necrons, unsurprising. And then the actual mission, Plasma Sabotage, the briefing, your forces, battlefield, and other rules. Standard flash page for Imperium, a shot of the battle system there, and then previews for 49 and 50. So issue 49 is going to have an array of sister units. So we'll have a number of battle sisters, Repentia, Seraphim, the Penitent Engine. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes along. And literally off the back of that, issue 50 will be another large model count for the Necrons. So that'll be the Royal Court. Don't ask me what half these units are, because I cannot tell you off the top of my head. I know of them, but I don't know the names of them, as I said, off the top of my head. But yeah, those are going to be two interesting issues right there with a lot of plastic. So both of which will be a significant bolstering to both a Sororitas force and a Necron force. So that was the page through of issue 48. What else was included? Well, of course we know it was the actual runner for the ruined Factorum. So there's pretty much the nice detailed side of things, and the back, so there'll still be some detailing here and there. I think this is basically your second level. But yes, obviously some of that detailing is very, very nice. Am I going to be scared painting this? Of course I will, even though the painting steps make it seem very easy. But that is that. So that was the Factorum. So I'm just going to do that in a wee crazy. We'll do that instead. So that brings us to the end of the page through of the 48th issue of Imperium. Still floors me that from a retrospective page through and unbagging that we've gone through 48 issues. And to think there's probably only going to be, what, 42 left after this? So it's interesting. I'm getting close. Anyway, leaving it there, so thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, like if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel, I do appreciate it. There is content on my Instagram and YouTube community tab. It is pretty much work in progress stuff of what I'm actively working on, so it may or may not always feature 40k content. But, as I've mentioned a few times, 11th edition at the point of recording was actually this weekend, to just give a weird indication of the recording time and the relation to 11th edition coming out. So there may be a significant increase in 40k content in the future. Anyway, stay safe, take care, and I'll catch you all in a future video, whether it's Imperium 49, because there's a lot of plastic included with that, the weekly combat patrol series, something else 40k related, or just anything else on the channel. See ya.